so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. I want to spend my life with you. Let me say things, baby, since we've been together. Ooh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together. Loving you weather, times are good and bad, happy or sad. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Well, the times are good and bad, happy or sad. Why people break up? Oh, turn around and make up. I just came to see you never do that to me, baby. Spinning around you is all I see. Is what I want to do. We ought to stay together, loving you well, times are good and bad, happy or sad. Come on, let's stay together.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5 minutes past the hour. It is the 18th day of June. It is the day after yesterday. But yesterday, so yeah. What? Why
I'm
you gonna
out. I'm gone. Look, y'all do this. I'm gone. You starting already. I'm gone.
You
All
coming
right.
back to life.
I wasn't going to say nothing. I'm gone. It was the day after what?
yesterday?
And the day before what?
uh,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'm just saying. It's the day. It's the day. Listen, got my girl Jax, the life strategist, the art therapist, the speaker, the author in the building, along with my brother from another mother, brother Fatine. You know him from the open lines, on lines, and keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WBLS 1075 in New York City. Good morning.
Great day to you.
Oh, Lord. I just put it in the chat.
Uh,
I have been BSing all morning. I didn't get out the bed to 8:55 Eastern
wow.
time. I'm playing with videos. I just put a video up with Tony Tone Slow Wine. I was trying to do a video montage and
Okay.
didn't do that. It didn't roll the way I wanted. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I didn't do nothing this morning.
Okay.
Maybe
Look.
I got up on the wrong side of the bed like the Dallas Mavericks did. So I don't know. I don't know what. Don't even go there, Joe.
Wait, not
Don't go there.
there.
Don't go there, Joe.
I ain't say nothing.
Okay.
Don't say nothing.
I ain't say
There
nothing.
you go. That's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
congratulations to the Boston Celtics for having more trophies than anybody else in the NBA because they won one last night. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all I,
they get
that's all
about.
I
They,
got to
they get about, and kudos to
say.
Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. But Boston had a great year. I'm not a Boston fan, but I can give them their props. The reason why I wasn't a Boston fan is because Boston just had, racial overtones with them. And then when I had to go there and play
Word
baseball, I had, well, they still have issues, but they have done especially with the Boston Celtics, even the Boston, I'll be honest with you, with the Boston Red Sox too, they have done a much better job with bringing in people of color to play, black folks and others to play. So I got to give kudos to the Celtics. And they've had some really great ball players, black and white. At the end of the day, everything is not just black and white. So kudos to Boston. I can definitely give the Boston Celtics kudos. They've been a great organization. They're one of the top. They're like the Yankees in basketball. They are like the Yankees in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give kudos to the Boston Celtics and tremendous job, tremendous year for them. Stayed on top all year and really went through the playoffs and did a tremendous job. So congratulations.
And I was very happy that they gave Jaylen, because I thought Jason Tatum was going to get the MVP, but they gave it to Jaylen Brown, and I was very proud of that to see the darker brother come through with that defense and come through with that ball skills. That's all I gotta say. Sometimes every once in a while, us chocolate brothers feel good when all of a sudden it's like, you know what? We ain't the only chip in the cookie.
Y'all got
and
all the
we
damn
got,
candy bars. So what the hell are you talking about?
and we got recognized.
Hershey chocolate. I mean, you got all the chocolate bars. So what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, special dark is all that, but most folks like that caramel. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so
I like a little cream in my coffee once in a while.
watch yourself before you get beside yourself. I know.
With that say, good morning, Casey. I gotta say good morning.
Look at him. Look at Casanova over there. That's what I should have.
Here we go.
Instead of me playing Al Green, let's stay together. I should have been playing Casanova. That's what I should have said.
That's right.
Oh, Casanova. That's what I should have played.
That stage of development stopped.
No. I love how you see what he just said. Y'all something else. Know the whole time.
Yep.
You the culprit there, partner. he like Slowpoke Rodriguez. Everybody he like Slowpoke Rodriguez in the thing. Here comes Speedy. All of a sudden, the one causing the most havoc. It is me, Slowpoke Rodriguez. I might not be the fastest mouse in all Mexico, but I got the biggest goon. Come on, man.
Oh Lord.
That is funny.
Oh, thank you, Casey. Good morning, my sister.
Oh, she says, "Oh, good morning, brother Fatine."
Oh, that's right. All right.
Good morning to everybody that's in the chat. Everybody that's in the chat. Thank you for logging in and being a part of this thing this morning. I'm still on the men's, but I'm up in here. Good morning to Eddie Barnett. Good morning to Jules Wall. Good morning to Willie Pickens. Just the name to Drea Watson, to Lena Whitehead that's in the building. Just good morning, KC. Good morning to you also. And to everybody that's logging in, we got people jumping in all over the place. I see Los Angeles. I see Atlanta. I see Dallas. Dallas, y'all logged in this morning. All right. Houston that logged in. Look, we got some people in the mass logging. Come on, Boston, come through. New York City in. We got some people in Connecticut logging in. I got some people in, of all places, Montana. Who out there on the range in Montana logged in? Okay, well, thank you for logging in. Washington's logging in, as in Seattle, not DC. DC just jumped in on. Hey, man, good morning to everybody. And of course, worldwide, we got folks. We got to give a shout out to France. Got to give a shout out to Belgium that's logged in this morning. Got some folks logged in two parts of Australia.
You said Belgium?
Belgium, yeah, Brussels.
I got a couple of women over there. Tell them I said, hey. Yeah, tell them I said, I'm international. I'm international, brother.
That's probably who logged in. You know, we got 2 cities in Belgium logged in. We got the capital of Brussels and Antwerp.
I spread it out a little bit, brother. I have to spread it out.
I understand that. Hey, I get it. We got my good friends. Always, we got my good friends at Ramstein Air Force Base. They logged in. And of course, we got a few folks in London, England logged in. Man, we international. South Africa's, hey, good morning. Welcome. Good morning.
I haven't gotten to South Africa yet. I've been to Sudan, but I ain't get to South Africa yet. But I've been on the Nile River. I ain't get one on the Nile River, but I got to go back.
Lord Jesus. Leave him alone.
I did. I'm serious. I've been on the Nile River where I've mentioned before that I saw the blue and the white Nile come together and they don't mix. It's the craziest thing.
No, but I want to see that. I want to see that. That's someplace I definitely want to go.
That's in South. You can see that also in South Africa. At the
I'm going.
Where the two oceans meet, but they don't mix, and it is a sight to be seen. It is.
I just saw on social media they show somewhere where it was day here and night there. I was like, my God, this is true. The world moves. You know, it's just not flat. You know, you got to give up that Christopher Columbus thing about being flat and discovering America, Joe. But I just saw it daylight here, and they switched the camera. And went. I'm on a mess this morning. I got up late.
Why did you drink this morning? Right? That's what I want to know.
I just wanted to pull one of them Smirnoff coolers out this morning. I didn't. I pulled out water.
Listen, I'm not a drinker, but I feel like I need one of them. I'm sitting here with this. Y'all know how
oh my God, you all right?
A box of tissues already.
You okay?
No, I don't know. My allergies are so bad today.
It is. Listen, it is allergy season, and that is.
I feel a mess.
So of course, as the seasons change, and we're getting ready to go into the real summer, because we're still really in spring. Summer is not official, I think, until the 21st Friday, the 21st, the 21st of June. And of course, on the 22nd of June, I don't know about y'all, I'm shutting down the world. If the world just for 5 seconds, it was me, because I made the world shut down. But the 21st of June is the official start of summer, and it's going to be a hot summer, y'all. Y'all listen, not because of what I just went through the prior week, but I really want to encourage y'all again, do not play with this heat out there. That heat is not to be played with, because you'll sit there and you'll think that you're colder and you better and that you're smarter than the heat. No, these elements are smarter than you, and they will shut your body DOWN down.
Now, Joe, question for you. In New Orleans, when it gets real hot, do they shut the schools down?
No.
Okay.
Just like they in the South with the heat, we function the same way they do in the Northeast and the North with the snow.
Gotcha.
It takes something beyond, but see, school is already out. School is out for the summer anytime. But we don't shut stuff down for heat. We don't
Yeah.
shut down. Now what?
Y'all are shut down for just 1 inch of snow. Y'all are shut it down.
Man, we'll shut it down if they think it's going to come 1 inch of snow. The weatherman can say we believe that they might be 1 inch of snow, and everybody start running around because these people can't drive in normal sunny day weather around here. So nevertheless,
Lord.
I know. Listen, don't let a little precipitation get the roadways wet. Lord have mercy, as my friend would say. Lord have mercy. You'll have a multi 20 car pile up because these folk can't drive. These people just be zoom, zoom, zoom. That's them.
This week here, it's supposed to be in the 90s, like 93, 90-degree weather for the next couple of days. So the last day of school is Friday for the public schools around here. But they're shutting down some of the schools because of the heat. So some of the schools are closing early. Graduation times are shifted from the morning or afternoon to 7 p.m.
So out of curiosity, in Jersey, when does school start? In September?
Yes. Yeah. Right after they.
So so that's the difference here. In Louisiana, school starts in August. So normally school starts either the middle of August or somewhere around the 1st of August, and it goes until May. It goes until May. So shout outs to I need to give a shout out since you got people still in school. Shout outs to everybody who's getting ready to graduate, because eventually, man, in Jersey, y'all got some folks getting ready to graduate. And not only do y'all have some folks getting ready to graduate, that means you got folks moving on to college, moving on to their senior year, just moving on and moving up. And so that bell and that round of applause for you. And if today is your special day, if today's your birthday, your anniversary, or some shape, form, or fashion, the 18th of June makes you go, ooh wee, this is my day. You know, maybe a child was born on this day. Maybe something very special happened on this day. I'm ringing the bell for you also.
That's right.
What's in the news, team?
Whoa. Before we go there, since we're on the weather, and I just sent you a video to your messenger. Okay, let me see. You pop that up?
Yeah, I'll pop it up.
I want to see if they could survive this.
And meanwhile, Joe, you know what?
I can't tell you.
The guy you were talking about yesterday in New York, who was assaulting the kids in the park, the teenagers, the 13-year-old. Yep.
Did they catch him? Oh, thank God.
He was riding a bike somewhere. Surveillance was catching him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Let me see. Yeah, I could survive it, but I don't know if they could survive it. Hold on.
And you know what else? You remember that guy that they showed in Brooklyn? I think it was in Brooklyn a couple years ago, the black preacher who had gotten robbed during his church.
Oh, he got 9 years. The black preacher. Yeah, I ran into him. I ran into him at Keith Wonderboy Johnson funeral in Brooklyn last year.
Looking for team, looking like he an Eskimo. Yep.
Hit that play button.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth, so I don't know.
Let's see what Fatim talking. What you talking about? Nothing. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Joke, fam. This is very bad. This is bad.
Look at it.
I'll get there. I am.
Look at that
Yeah.
Wow.
Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't deal with that.
You can't be out here in Queens. Wow.
Oh, I missed those
Woo.
days.
This is no joke. You can't hardly even get to the street. All right, enough is enough. Let me get where I got to go. New York. State of emergency.
Yep.
Those supposed to be on the road. They shutting everything down.
Shutting it down for team.
I was going to stay overnight at the radio station.
Look at
I was going to stay.
Hit. This is no joke.
Look at him looking like an Eskimo.
Yeah.
This is very bad.
You gotta rewind it. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It was so nice I had to play it twice. It was so nice I had to play it twice.
They were shutting everything down.
I said I love the weather like that. Like we haven't had enough of that. Oh my God, yes. I love to take a drive and go skiing. I love to go outside and go sleigh riding. I absolutely love.
Did you get pregnant in the winter?
I don't even know when I got pregnant.
Oh God, you can't do the math.
Hold on.
No, my daughter was born October 30th, and my son was born April 1st. So I guess
October. So you got pregnant with your daughter in the winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing a lot of people now that's pregnant now. So that's
Yep.
that winter. See that hibernation kind of thing. That's what happens. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not being funny,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I'm not being funny. Joe asked a question. What's in the news? I had a question for y'all first. I'm
Okay,
reading a
go
book.
ahead.
I'm reading a book.
You're reading.
Mhm.
And it's called, I read a lot of history books and stuff. I read a lot of books.
Mhm.
But this is part 3. This is by Cash and Capri. They got a lot, Nene Cash and Capri. And it says, trust no bitch. That's part 3. I'm in the part 3.
That's
And the reason why
male or female, that's a true statement.
yeah, well, it's interesting because the book, it didn't get to that kind of theme because as you're reading the book, and it's a novel, it's a street novel, it's drugs, it's violence, it's an urban book, and it didn't get to that part where that said that word trust no, and it got there. It's not about just a woman. So my question is to Joe and Jax and to our audience. We tend to, as Black people, because of captivity being in this country, and I just learned something about in Nazi Germany, what they did with kids of color and what they did to them too. And we don't talk about this. We only talk about the Jewish folks, but Black people was also tortured also there. But let's just talk about here in America. We look down, we talk about pork. But we realized that we had to eat the bottom of what they gave us, and we survived. So bottom line, we ate the chitlins and the intestines. We ate the snout, the tail of the pig. While they ate, you understand what I'm saying? They did that, but we was blessed to have watermelon to flush our system. We were called nigger. We were called nigger. We were called bitch. We were called so many derogatory names. But then we as a people turned those names around and used them not totally in a hurtful way. Meaning that if Joe, even during the 70s, even doing the Black exploitation movie thing, and a lot of folks don't like to call it that, but it is what it is. When you saw a movie and said, "What's up, my nigga?" That didn't mean what it meant if a white person called you that. Even now, people say, if Joe said, "Man, come on, nigga, stop that." We cool. We understand that. White boy do that, can't do that.
Nope.
You can't do that. You can't do that. And it first came out when J-Lo, not the first time, but J-Lo used the N-word in one of her songs. The morning show at Hot 97 in New York, starring Buck Wild, Star went after J-Lo. J-Lo had to change that word. She had to pull that word out because he said, you can't use that word.
But for
so I want to ask the question.
I think times have changed, though.
Well, no, the times have not changed. Other folks cannot use that word. I played in a league that was majority Black, softball league, and there was a Spanish team there, and they used the name nigger, and it cleared the field.
Oh,
we told them, "Yo, you can't do that," and they said, "Well, you do it." So the question I want to say, it's not about. The question is it psychological that we take things that are hurtful and turn it around? Not to say that we make it a badge of honor, but we take the pain off of it. Because I'm trying to understand, why do we do that? We want to come out quickly and say, don't do that, don't do that. If we tell other people that they can't use the N-word, then we can't use the N-word. But there's an understanding there. But even though we know who use it in the context is used, it can have a different meaning. And I think that we need to slow. I mean, we're a little older. Younger people tend to do it, but it's not fair to beat up on the younger people because we did it in the 70s. We did it in the 70s. 5 on the black hand side. What's that, my nigga? We did that. And you go to the poets, nigga this, nigga that. And it did not mean what it meant in a sense when white people utilize that name. And even today, you let a Marjorie Taylor Greene use the N-word.
Oh, they own her.
You understand? We're going to be on her because it's not in the same context. So my question to you all, why do we tend to turn things around? Because when things are thrown at us, because we always tend to look at things in life and say we got to take the higher ground. And
Mhm.
is that a way of taking the higher ground? Sometimes taking something that was so derogatory to us to turn it around so it doesn't sting as much amongst us because we have that common understanding and understand amongst us. Or is it another way to tear down our self-esteem eternally? That's my question to you.
I think it's all of the above. I mean, it's almost like self-deprecating humor, you know? So I think we kind of do it to ourselves and we try to make it and, you know, pacify ourselves and make us feel comfortable. And, you know, we use it in jest. But, you know, it's similar to self-deprecating humor where you know, would make jokes about yourself or try to put yourself down so that other people don't look at that particular thing about you. Or if they look at that particular thing that you don't like, you already brought attention to humor to it so that it's not as hurtful to you when somebody else says it. So, I mean, yeah, so thank you. So it's unfortunate that we, you know, still use those words. And I know I'm definitely guilty of using, you know, some words that are not as nice. I know my husband, you know, doesn't like it, even when my kids and I joke around and sometimes I use the N word. So we've, you know, definitely gotten better with that, but it's still, you know, it's still not good. We just always take what they tell us and we try to find a way to add some sauce to it, but we're still fulfilling their prophecy essentially.
Yo,
Man, that's hard for me to say, Fatim, because you know this is 2024, and I'll be honest with you, the N word. I don't know. I've seen white guys say the N word, and then when older brothers like me go, man, what the hell he just say? Younger brothers come to his defense, like, man, come on, man, it ain't that serious. Yeah, old timer, leave that alone. Back in your day, that's what I've been hit with. Back in your day, you know, and I'm like, bro, that's why I'm telling you, you talking from your day, your time, your people you hang around. I done seen some of these young white boys be, man, what's wrong with these niggas? Little nigga, better yet. Hold it. And I've seen brothers be like, man, you don't know this cat, he rolled with us. This is how it is. You know, like, for example, I know a Caucasian guy who's married to a black girl who's got black and brown babies. And, you know, and they be like, man, them some little bad little, and he'd be like, yeah, they some bad little ends. And I'll be like, but they'd be like, and I'll be like, man, hi, y'all letting them, well, they his kids.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, bro. You know, so you'll find out that as time rolls on, there's stuff that we're talking about that, yeah, in our time, it would cause a war. In these times, these kids ain't paying no attention to that. They're like, man, okay, so he said it. They anytime that you see, for example, this Drake, Kendrick Lamar, whoever else beef is going on, I'm like, what is this? I'm too old to under. And sometimes you got to realize who you are in the game. And I'm too old.
It's a very interesting beef. It's a very interesting beef. That's why I'm saying we don't attach ourselves to this. And I disagree with you, Joe. I'll challenge anybody because I just Googled it. Has Eminem, Vanilla Ice can't use the N-word, bro. I don't give a damn. Rappers right now, even today,
but
white boys come out using the N-word. They're not, a lot of them are not going to tolerate that. It's not about old timer, because I'm not going to allow that. Because the bottom line is we, the Jewish folks, and this is when I do stand with them, they don't allow that. When Michael Jackson used the word kite in his song, they made him take it out. So why do we allow that and say, oh, let some young brother tell me, yo, old timer, yo, I'm stepping to you? Because no, Joe, because let me just finish. The bottom line is that's the problem with us as a black people. We are not unified. When something is wrong, and we stand on that square. We stand on the square. Time don't change nothing.
Then, Brother Fatim, we should tell each other, stop calling each other niggas then.
That's what some people say. I mean,
at the end of the day, if somebody else uses it, we shouldn't use it at all. Not endearing, not as a turnaround. Because you brought it up. Do we use it as a turnaround or up? We shouldn't use it at all because we should say that word was created in a derogatory manner.
I can agree with that.
To completely make us feel like we were less than human. So we shouldn't use it in any way. That word does not exist in my household. Period. At the end of the day, I understand it. When people say it, I'm like, wait a minute. And there was a time I used to be on the other side of the fence. So let me raise my hand. It took me a long time to realize, man, why am I calling myself a B? because that's basically what I'm doing. It's just
Yeah.
like if I look myself in the mirror every morning and say, boy, you know what? You's a little B. No, you're not. I'm a grown man and a good grown man. And I make mistakes, but guess what? I may fall down 5 times, but I get up 6. So,
Yes.
you know, I say things to encourage myself, but I'm not going to call myself the N-word, nor am I going to call people around me the N-word, because at the end of the day, some may act that way. And I may in my mind go, I say ninja so much that people feel like I'm talking about ninjas for real, you know, and I'll be like, boy, these ninjas get on my nerves. Or like here in Louisiana, the N-word, a lot of folks don't know Cajun. The word Cajun means the N-word. Cajun. Or they say Morocco's. Morocco's mean the N-word. There's certain words that mean the N-word in certain languages. So, you know, I don't play that when a person go, oh man, all these, hey man, hold up. I know who you're talking about. Them ninjas get on my, and that's what I say. I say ninjas, and I need to stop saying that because in my head, I'm thinking the N-word.
Yeah. So I guess that's why Cajun, like the food, is like blackened. Cajun, is that, does that tie into?
I'm still trying to understand. I've never really got the full gist of it because I'm not a Louisianian. So let me give my disclaimer. I am an import here from Tennessee, but I have sit down with many elders, especially elders colored. You know, and I say, what does Cajun mean? They say, man, that means that's the N-word. That's the white equation of the N-word. You know, back in the day, Cajun was the white equation of the N-word. If you were Cajun, you were the N-word. And I was like, did they call him? Now they said that's what they call white. You a Cajun. You know, you a white N-word. You a Cajun. And I was like, wow. I said, that's crazy. And that's why if you come down here and talk to people, a lot of especially black folks be like, man, I ain't Cajun. I ain't Creole. They tell you, there's a guy, his name was Takuna El Shabazz. He wrote a book. I'm not Cajun, I'm not Creole. Because he felt like that was really a mark against us as black folks. You know, so like I said, you know, in different regions, there's different ways to say a word that means you ain't who you ain't nothing. Because that's basically what they say. If you call a person the N-word, you're saying they're nothing. You ain't worth nothing. You ain't nothing. You property. I can treat you like an animal because you ain't nothing.
Yeah. And I think what you're talking about, like the different regions and stuff, is in the north up here. It's definitely the kids aren't over that, like that N-word thing, letting a white boy or somebody else call somebody, you know, say they are in or call us a in or just say it in conversation. They don't play that. So even with the age differences and how things have evolved up here, hell no. If you go in the hood and any white boy is hanging out with the brothers and the teenagers and they say the N-word, it's a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
It's definitely not pacified here. Just just let him say it because he's one of us. That's old school shit. Not here.
Yeah, you ain't. Yeah, just like you just said, Jack. Just like that. We ain't tolerating that. Yeah. I went in the store on the west side of Manhattan up there, and the guy was doing new milk, and he was like, "Yo," I said, "Yo, bro, yo, dude, you do whatever you want." But while I'm in here, you ain't saying that. We can step to this. I'm not. No. You got to back them up sometime. You have to back them up. But Joe, you're right. And I wrestle with this and again, I'm being a little transparent about Reverend Sharpton because I asked him the same thing because when he came, because I've been in the car. We've been in the car and the things that we said. But then he was like, yo, I got to get out of this because if I'm telling other people and I'm going out there publicly now and saying that I shouldn't be using it just like anybody else shouldn't be using it. Now, Brother Mtume is a different person. Mtume, he's an arts person. So Mtume, he moved on feeling. So even on radio, we wasn't supposed to. He told management, yo, y'all can find me, y'all do whatever you want. Because if I need to use that word in the context, I will use that word. He said, I'm not just going to be blatant with it. But if I need to use that, I'm not going to sit up here. If somebody used the N-word on television, the call is that. He said, I'm not going to get up here and say, so-and-so called us an N-word. I'm going to get up here and say, so-and-so called us a nigger. And I agreed with him too, man. It's the context of how it's utilized. But the FCC and how we so sensitive today that they want to come at us. And then a lot of companies are so scared that they want to go after the employees. But it's the context. and I use it in the context as well. If it comes out that it's the context of the story, I'm going to say the word.
Well,
Yeah.
Because that's how it's the context.
Let's go to some of the comments.
That's right.
Yeah, please.
Eddie Barnett put up there, I see that all the time. The culture is mixed with everyone now, and they come in speaking the language of the culture. And he put something up next that was real interesting. He said, NBA young boy culture is not the same as Eminem culture. I want to give him a round of applause and ring the bell for that. He is telling 100% the truth. And then, James Wall said, Mike Tyson said it best. Everyone got something to say until they get punched in the face. That it is the wrong 6 foot guy.
Say it to the wrong 6 foot guy and see it. Say it to Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson almost took my hand off when he was just giving me 5. What's up, Fatigue? And he almost took my hand. We're not arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to take my hand off? So it's like, oh, Fatigue, you know. Fatigue, no, Mike. No, I don't have no muscles like you. Stop.
So Deshaun Bain said, who flies the kite? Okay. Willie Pickens said, I don't think it's as harmful today than in the past. Okay.
I totally disagree with you, Willie. I totally disagree with you, because I'll be honest with you. It's similar to the 70s. It's similar to the 70s. What the hip hop culture is doing is what we did in the 70s. If you didn't live in the 70s, if you didn't go to the movies and you didn't watch that and walk the streets of Harlem and Brooklyn and across this country, it's the same situation. The N-word was used as kind of a badge of honor amongst us. So it's no different today. That's why I'm saying I'm not going to beat up on the rappers, because we as adults, as OGs now, did the same damn thing.
But as I always say, Brother Fatim, and I have to say this in a way that I hope is not in any way, I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but I have to be truthful. You have a few years on me, but I know growing up where you grew up and the time you grew up was totally different than where I grew up and the time I grew up. And it was a major difference, even if it was at the same time. I know that Memphis, Tennessee in the 70s was totally different than Brooklyn, New York in the 70s, period. Period. Memphis, Tennessee in the 60s was totally different than Brooklyn, than New York was in the 70s. So once again, it's many times we have to put that into context, because when we talk from a perspective of, we think that what was going on in our neighborhood was going on everywhere. It wasn't.
But it's not. But let's talk about that, because that's why I blame the musicians. Isaac Hayes came out of Memphis.
Okay.
And they did the same thing that we did in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Nigga this, nigga that. What I'm saying is, the point I'm making.
Hold on. Let me break you right quick. And I hate to say this, because once again, now you can talk about Brooklyn and I'll say nothing, but when you come down to Memphis, let me hold your.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, hold it.
What I'm saying is the arts.
Right. The brothers were there, and the brothers were in their
and they use the N-word.
Hold it. Right. However, in Memphis, Tennessee, the whole climate of Memphis was totally different, man. Memphis, like for example, you had a pocket of black folks in Memphis who were always positive, strong, black, moving toward let's do. But then you had a resistance there that was, okay, New York, you never had to face a Bull Connor in New York. You never had to face a Bull Connor in New York. Never. Bull Connor wasn't in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in the boroughs of New York. We had to face Bull Connors on a regular basis, on a daily basis. It was a different atmosphere.
What's that? Who's that?
Bull Connors was the one that, he was honestly like the FBI Hoover. He was like Hoover.
Okay.
Prime example. Sister Jax, because she's Jersey girl, and I got all the respect for her. She said, "Who's that?" Right, because of her upbringing, and she's never had to face. We've had some real prejudiced people here. We see with us something that you've never had to face on the East Coast, because Prejudice.
That's
is
not true.
different.
That's not true, Joe.
Hold
That's
on,
not
hold
true.
on.
I'm gonna let you finish, and I'm gonna
Okay,
prove you
okay.
wrong. And I'm gonna prove you wrong because even
It's
Dr.
not,
King.
it's not a right. It's not a right.
No,
or
no,
wrong
it
thing.
is a wrong. It is
Okay,
because you
so-
can't
so
say
tell me-
Joe.
tell me
You
this.
can't
Tell me-
wait. You
yeah,
are wrong when
hold
you
on,
say
hold
we
on, hold
never
on.
face.
Hold
You
on.
can't wait.
No,
You can't
I
say
I
we
say
never face.
racism was
No,
different,
Joe.
brother
You
King.
no. You can't
Hold
say
on.
we never
Okay,
face
let me
when
ask
Dr.
you.
King.
Let him
No,
finish.
no. You
So,
can't
Brother
say
Fatim,
this.
Brother
No,
Fatim, you trying to
Joe.
be
You.
right. Hold
No,
on.
it's not about being right, Joe. Just listen to
but
what I'm
Brother
saying.
Fatim, let
You
me
made an
finish.
absolute statement. No,
Okay,
you made an absolute statement. We
Well, let me
never
finish
faced.
my state. Hold it.
No, you finished it already.
Okay.
We never faced
No,
a bull
I
Oh,
Connor.
he was
Brother
explaining it. He
Fatim,
was explaining
Brother-
it.
Brother Fatim, see, you want to jump in and be right.
No,
So
you
tell me-
said it before
so tell
Jax
me this,
even
Brother
asked
Fatim.
that
Hey,
question.
Brother Fatim, since you grew up in
Go
the
ahead, Joe.
70s,
Go. I'll
okay,
wait. I'll wait.
please,
Don't have, go.
please.
I'll wait.
Since you grew up in the 60s and the 70s in New York,
I was a kid in the 60s.
Okay. So
I was a
tell me
child.
How many times did the KKK have a marching rally and parade that ran by your house? I'll wait.
Not by my house, but we had the KK march in New York
Hold on.
in the 80s.
Hold on.
Joe, just make your point. Just make your point about what you were saying, that we never had this.
On a regular basis, Jax, in the South, what we had was parades of racism, parades from the KKK, parades that diminished us as a people. I know many a times they may have did it once or twice, but they didn't do it on a monthly. There was times in the South that in places that I have lived in the South that literally racism was on display 24/7, 365. That's all I'm saying. And Fatim, I ain't trying to make a point saying that you went through less or greater. I'm just saying it was different. It was different.
So what I'm saying is, then say that it was different, but don't say we never face, because I'm looking up the quote. So when
my statement, and I was going to say you never faced on a regular basis. Like, see, you don't let me finish the statement because Fatim, you so quick.
But Joe, you did finish the statement because Jax asked the question.
It's on you, Brother Fatim. It's
fine. Yeah, because you finished. You said we never faced a Bull Connor.
It's fine. You never did. You never. Who was your Bull Connor? Name him. I'll wait.
We didn't have a Bull Connor. We never had, Joe. We never had a Bull Connor in the sense of the way Bull Connor operated, but we still faced racism. And then when that
didn't, but there's a difference between the Edmund Pettus
Joe,
Bridge and Bloody Sunday.
Joe,
come on, bro. Come on.
I got it, Joe. What I'm saying is that in the different areas, you're right. In the South, it was more prevalent. You're right there. The point I was disagreeing with you on was a specific point, not everything you said. I was zeroing in when you said we never. You said we never. Dr. King, and if you look up Dr. King's statement, Dr. King, when he went to Chicago, he said that racism in the North was more sophisticated than it was in the South. That's Dr. King.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely.
That's Dr. King. Yeah. Then when Joseph Hawkins got killed in Bensonhurst in the 90s, not the 60s, not the 70s, not the 80s, the 90s. Howard Beach, we got Michael Griffin that got killed, that's chased over a highway and get hit by 2 cars and killed. But when Reverend Sharpton said, what I'm gonna do, racism is prevalent up here, but the way the country looks at it is only prevalent in the South. I'm gonna show you by marching through Bensonhurst what they will do. Did y'all see that when we first marched through Bensonhurst? They came out of weddings calling us names. They came out of weddings throwing watermelon. That's what they did. So what I'm saying is it wasn't as prevalent. I got that. But when you use the word we never, it seems like up north was easier going, and it was never easier going. It's just that we had more people. We was a little bit more sophisticated, but the racism was also sophisticated. Yes, we did not deal with some of the things y'all did down there. Because when I came to visit the South, I watched how my family moved. I could never move like that. They had to send my brother to New York because they was going to kill him, they said, because he is not bowing to white people like that. He just wasn't.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, Joe, but I'm just saying you used the word never, and I got it. Yeah. Did we have water hoses put on us? Did we have dogs put on us? But we still went through what we went through. And when Dr. King said, yo, this racism up in the North is worse than what I've seen in the South, that's a lot coming from Dr. King.
Because you know what, Fatin, in the South, from my experience with racism, it's like, I don't like, I don't like you. I ain't mess with you. Don't talk to me. I ain't talking to you. Take your little black self across the street, right? Whereas up here, they'll try to befriend you and be nice and all this and that. But before you know it, your son or your daughters or your husband somewhere hanging from a tree, and you don't know how the hell it happened. And all they would do was hanging out with their white friends. You know what I mean? So up here, it definitely is much more complicated. They'll go to happy hour and everything else together and have fun after work. But, when you go to their home parties and stuff like that, it's all type of N-words flying, and I can't stand this and I can't stand it. They're more malicious.
The plotting and the planning, right.
Yeah, plotting exactly. Plotting and planning. Whereas in the South, it's like, hell no, I don't like niggas. Don't talk to me. I ain't talking to you. And for a fact, you can see some people that don't like black folks, and you can see the callousness in their face when they look at you. They look at you like they want to stomp your baby out of your belly and rip you apart and kill you. They just look at you with that cold, menacing look, many times. But up here, you're not going to get that cold, menacing look. Yeah, not all the time.
And I wasn't trying to be ugly. And like I said, I'm just saying that once again, we have to put the geographical, because it is different geographically. That's why people act different when they're born in different geographical areas. I think the biggest racist lesson I had was when I was in the military, when I was sitting down with some brothers and we were all in Iraq, and it was me and 3 Americans, and I think it was about 10 British brothers, and the British brothers stopped and told us, hey man, what I remember one of them saying, hey bro, I ain't trying to be funny to you. I don't know how it feels to be a black and American. So what y'all talking about don't resonate with us. Mm-hmm. We had our own black British problems. And you realize that black people be catching hell at different levels and in different geographical places. It might be somewhat similar, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
So the point I was making is there's 2 points. The first point I was making about Memphis and getting the stories from Isaac is that you can even just look at the Black Panther movies. You can go back and look at the documentaries. You look at this, the point I was making that what black people were doing in the 70s is what they're doing now. So when I said I disagree with Willie Pickens about the young boy versus the Eminem, all I'm saying, the culture is different. There was a little bit more consciousness coming out of the rap world there. And there was a little bit more.
Eddie made that statement.
Oh, okay, Eddie. And there was more consciousness even in the 70s coming out of the 70s, but there still was a unified thing with this whole hip talk amongst black people. There was a kind of conversation. You watched it in the Shaft movies. You watched it in Superfly. You see that. That was universal amongst here. So if it was in Memphis, if it was in South Carolina, it was in New York, that, yo, nigga, my nigga, that went across the United States. So there was no difference coming out of the black community, how we talked, because that's how we moved. That's how we looked. We had a certain look. We wore the dark glasses. If it was the Panthers, if it was the singers. James Brown said the same thing that the Panthers said. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I was making. Not about what was different and worse. But now the point about Dr. King. Here it goes. So this is what happened. So Dr. King did make observations about racism in the North, particularly during his efforts in Chicago. When he moved his civil rights campaign to the North, he encountered a different but equally virulent form of racism. In a speech in 1966, he remarked that he found the racism in Chicago and other northern cities to be as intense, if not more so, than what he had experienced in the South. That's Dr. King. That's Dr. King. Mm-hmm. I read, those are his words. People don't read his books. They just know I have a dream speech. Read Dr. King. A lot of the questions we have and the answers we're looking for, he has already penned in a book. Mm-hmm. I don't make things up on a dead man. I tell you what, I've studied this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and that's why when we were fighting the racism up in New York, you know, it was harsh.
Mm-hmm.
It was harsh up here too. But I do agree with what Joe is saying. In Memphis, I never lived in Memphis, but I know the southern cities and I know how they roll. I wouldn't have been able to survive like that because I would have been a fighter. So I probably, you know, I'll be in jail or be 6 feet under.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I do understand and respect what Joe's saying, but that was not the point I was trying to make. Yeah, the point I was just making was, I'm that serious. It just was that there was a commonality amongst Black people during the 70s that now we see with the hip hop artists, the commonality using the N-word today. It's no difference. Right. That's what I point out.
We do have a caller on the line, and I hope I can get this caller. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Give us your name, where you calling from, and question or comment. Let's go.
What's up, family? This is Sister Mashar. I'm calling from New York, and I just wanted to say I'm glad that you brought that out, Brother Fatima, about Dr. King making the differences in the North and the South, because I didn't even realize Dr. King knew that. Mm-hmm. And fast forward to now, to our generation, I think part of the issue is that somehow along the line, our parents didn't want to really portray racism. I'm talking about in the North, coming from New York City, because like Brother Joe said, you didn't experience yet. No, we didn't. The Ku Klux Klan march in front of our buildings. Mm-hmm. But the racism in New York is subtle. And how I knew that was, I wasn't really aware of racism like that, experienced it like that, growing up in New York, right? So when I became a part of this group called Undoing Racism, which is a group started by, the professors of, I can't think of the name. Anyways, college professors. They're trying to undo racism throughout the country, and they hold seminars specifically for white people. And when I joined that group, they had white people come in to discuss what they don't like about Black people and reveal their inner thoughts about Black people. And this is about 10 years ago. I was shocked, but I shouldn't have been shocked at all. So they said the North of New York is one of the racist states. And I was like, what? How is that so? Because we don't see it like the Ku Klux Klan walking in front of our houses or burning crosses on our yard. But guess what? I had a racial experience this year and last year. I was like, and I'm upstate New York now, and I actually witnessed white men calling a Black man nigger from out the car a couple of times. And like I said before, where I live, yo, you niggas, the children was calling people niggas. And my granddaughter took the bus to school last year. This is back in November. They were calling, the kids was calling people on YouTube and the web. They will share media of white people teaching their children to hate Black people. So this is something more recent now. Come to find out, a couple of years ago, I know the Ku Klux Klan in New York was trying to recruit. And so I see this in different parts of the North right now. So it is a shocker, but it does exist. And I realize it, being that now I'm around a lot of white Caucasian people, this thing is no joke. And different forms of Caucasian people, whether it's Latino, Mexican, how they're even racist against Black and being anti-Black. So this is we in a deep time now, but everything is being revealed. And I just pray to God, how do we handle this? Because it goes from one extreme to the next. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you.
That's right.
You
Thank you so much
for on the conversation. 225-250-8770. 225-250-8770. It is 5 minutes to the top of the hour. And we done got into a deep conversation. because racism, white supremacy is still prevalent and relevant in 2024. And you're about to see a lot of it, especially as we get closer to this election cycle.
That's right.
You're going to see how folks are really putting race into the equation, because a lot of stuff is very, like I said, DEI. There's an attack on DEI every day. You see what happened with affirmative action. Affirmative action, the Supreme Court threw it out, and Congress didn't come back and put it back in. Let's go to the caller. We look like we got another caller. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Give us your name, where you calling from, question or comment. Let's go.
This is Rhonda. I'm calling from New York. And, it's strange that you're on this topic this morning, because I was thinking about this just last night. I grew up in New York City, born and raised in the Bronx. When I lived down south, it was different. But because I was born in New York City, I kind of could maneuver to stay away from that. But living upstate New York, outside of New York City, it's like living in the South again.
That's right.
The culture is different. It's different. It's much different. And we have supremacists up here in upstate New York. We having a hell of a time right now trying to exist. I mean, and it feels like you don't have to put the chains on me physically, but I know what y'all went through down there. My grandmother left Rosewood and she never went back. And we heard these stories. Physically, I didn't have to go through it. My father's side, somebody was lynched on that side from West Virginia. So I understand, I get it. But coming from New York City, what happens is, and I can't say it enough, and like you asked me, Joe, how old am I before? Yes, 70, and I'm proud to be 70.
Amen.
I've been through stuff on all levels damn near. But the thing is that we have to understand the language, the culture is different. But as we move forward, we got to understand, New York is great, but when people say New York, a lot of people acclimated with the city.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
We have problems so much. We not even we divided here in New York City, trying to get New York State to acknowledge a lot of things that New York City wants to do because of its racism, and people don't want to say what it is. It is, I'm going to New York City to live. New York City got problems also. We trying to work them out just like in the South. It's all over the country, but we speak different languages and trying to deal with our solutions. We have to be more solution-based. And I get what you're saying, and I love the passion you give into this, because we really need time on housing, on just living in upstate New York. Upstate New York is like.
But Rhonda, let me. Don't hang up, Rhonda. Rhonda, don't hang up. You can hear me, right?
All right.
Rhonda, you can hear me?
All right. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So when Rhonda
can hear you.
Okay, so when Rhonda mentions about upstate New York, she is 100% correct. I can give it to you closer to the city. I can give it to you in Long Island, and I've given the story, and I'm not going to go through the whole story again because I've told the story, and that's why I told y'all I stood on principle when my next door neighbor, supposed to be cool, white guy, called my girlfriend a nigger. I told y'all I was going to turn the damn campus upside down, and I meant that. I meant that. I feel the same way passionate as I do today. Then back in 1981, I turned that SOB upside down if he didn't apologize. And when the campus police came and he said, well, we'll throw you off campus, I said, I don't give a damn. I'm not going to tolerate that. You worried about me throwing off the campus, but you ain't worried about him calling my girlfriend a human being a derogatory name. I got to stand up on principle. It was my turn to be Dr. King. It was my turn to be Malcolm X. We can't talk it if we ain't going to walk it.
That's right.
A lot of us talk it, but we don't walk it. That's so what Sister Rhonda is saying is that y'all don't know New York State. Y'all don't know Long Island. Right now, Staten Island is another situation is another county or borough that is a racist borough. And even today in 2024, people want to say things are different. Hell no, they're not damn different. Yeah, they ain't stringing people up and hanging them from the damn tree. But the bottom line, the racism, and you go into Howard Beach, you got to even understand the dynamics. When Michael Griffin got killed, when we went into Howard Beach, we was not only fighting white people, we were fighting the damn mafia, y'all. The mob. John Gotti comes from Howard Beach. That's what we were dealing with.
My friend is a cousin to Michael in Queens. And that was a horrific damn time for us to go through in Howard Beach. We have been through it. So to think that we city slickers and this and that, y'all got to change this language and the mindset. My daughter, my 35-year-old, had a young white boy here in Westchester County say, oh, you a monkey. And this was 2 years ago. She said, I'll monkey your ass. And he sat his ass down. You know, we have to stop. We have to stop and start saying, oh, yeah, I'm this because I'm in the South. I'm this because I'm in the North. We all going through it, the mindset and the language. And we have to change it because it's disgusting what we do to each other thinking that we have arrived. We have not arrived on this planet. So we won't.
So, Sister Rhonda, we appreciate you calling in. I want to chime in on something that Sister Rhonda said. You know, she brought up the monkey. Now, let me give you a prime example. That's something I've lived through here in the South. One of the reasons I'm not doing the thing that I most love is because I worked for a radio broadcasting company here that the general manager would often say to people of color, you know, you acting like a monkey. And when he said it to me and I checked him on it, I said, man, look, that sounds very close to you wanting to call me a nigga. He said, no, I didn't call you that. I would never call you that, but you are acting like a monkey. And then that they went to case law here in the state of Louisiana saying that somebody brought up a actual case where the Supreme Court here in Louisiana said calling a person a monkey is not a racial slur. So I got relieved of my duties of working at that said radio station. And you know, the craziest thing was, didn't nobody around here raise hell? To be exact, when I told people that here's the first word that everybody told me, you should have told us that he called you a monkey. What y'all gonna do? Yeah. What y'all gonna do? Stop listening? Boycott? Protest? Y'all ain't gonna do nothing, because here's the thing. Black radio will have a black program director, will have black voices on the radio, but will not be black owned. And y'all don't give a damn that it's the New Plantation. Because that's basically all radio station that is black throughout the country. And y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about how certain brothers are just happy that they happy to be Steven. Oh, I run the radio station. You know me. Or I have that smooth voice. 25 minutes after 5. And they love it that everybody love them, but they know that it ain't black on. If they say anything of a black agenda, white folks will fire them on the spot and replace them with another voice from another place. And that's the point. As long as we don't have ownership, as long as we don't have ownership, and in us having ownership, we need to have righteous ownership, because some of us are just as dirty as the white man.
That's right.
That's right. What I said.
And you know, Joe, and thank you so much for sharing that. And that's so unfortunate what you had to go through at the radio station, but God still persisted and you still where you need to be.
Yeah, I own my own now. I own my own now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, that's right.
We can say and do what we want to do on mine.
And you know, just to show even how messed up like our mentality is as a people, right? And sometimes we don't know. So black folks especially love those mafia movies, the gangster movies, and all of that type of stuff, right? But they don't even realize that Italian mafia, the Sicilian mafia, the Costa Nostra, all that stuff is rooted out of the Roman Empire. Those mafia members are descendants of the Roman Empire. Why does that matter? Because the Roman Empire was in terms responsible also for slavery. We had the sub-Saharan slave trade, as well, in the transatlantic slave trade, but those same Roman Empire, they were responsible for our oppression and bringing it over here and the racism and all of that stuff. The Roman Catholic Church, they're the ones that switched up a bunch of the stuff, you know, in the Bible and the days of the week of worship and all of that other type of stuff, and the calendar and all this other crazy, you know, things that are going on now. But yet when we look at our people, we like to glorify, you know, Scarface and the mafia and being a gangster and all of that type of stuff. But that came from the same exact people that oppressed us from day one. And we don't even realize it. So when we think about Howard Beach and all those other places with the racism coming from a lot of the Italians, that's where it's coming from. Their grandfathers, their great grandfathers, they're descendants of that, you know,
Yeah.
and they were designed to treat us how they treat us.
Yeah. And listen to this.
Hold up. Before you do that, Fatima, I want to ring the bell for Rhonda for this reason. Rhonda said something that's still resonating in my spirit, and she's right. No matter where you're at, up north, down south, East Coast or West Coast, we've got to band together in a unified front that racism, no matter how it's being formulated and how it's being projected, we got to come against it. And we have to understand that we have to be united with our no. Our no has to be united. And our yes on how we're moving forward has to be united. And we can't be like the northern, the guys at north and the guys down south and the guys on the east and the guy. We're all dealing with it in some shape, form, or fashion. Because watch this. Even though the KKK ain't walking through New York, they may be putting in institutional racism principles in a monologue or a legal way, which legally holds us down. Even though down south, you might have to worry about a guy driving through your neighborhood with a truck that's got a racist flag on it, and he's screaming, you know, y'all go back to Africa or whatever. You know, it's still the same mental torment that we have to deal with on a regular basis, Brother Fatim.
So I had to write this down because I didn't want to lose my point. So Jax, you mentioned about the Italian mafia, and you go back to the Roman Empire. Very good. And there's a movie out, and it talks about gangs. It talks about the gangs that came to New York. And it touches on some of this here. It doesn't go as far back about the Roman Empire, but if you understand and study the Roman Empire and understand empires before the Roman Empire, you would understand that. Also, there's the Jewish mafia. I didn't learn about the Jewish mafia till we moved. When I got a little older, the apartment that we moved upstairs, because it was a nice Jewish family, very nice Jewish family. Their names were the Plastowitz, and unfortunately, the father got killed in an accident a block away from home at a drugstore. This was horrific. They were nice people. I didn't know the son was in the mafia, was in the Jewish mafia, but he gave me a little bit, and then on the corner was the Italian, the Goldbergs, and their son in the Italian mafia. So as a kid, I was a kid, so they couldn't give me so much, but I heard little things, nothing that I can just repeat now that mean anything. It's just that I knew that just looking at the mafia, because 1980, I'm standing outside on Flatbush Avenue, and I mean, cop cars are speeding, and I'm like, what happened? And then on the news, the 6 o'clock news, and have 5 o'clock news back then, 6 o'clock news, a mafia boss got shot up in Crown Heights in the back of the restaurant, sitting outside, got shot up, got killed. And, so now I'm starting to follow this, Elliot Ness, my brother, he liked the Untouchables and stuff like that. We tend to see the gangster stuff because we see us as the underdog at times. So the reason why a lot of us resonate with that is because we see them as underdogs and they become into power and they take their power. And that's why you see today, what you're seeing in the streets now, we talking about the gun violence, and I mentioned this last week about in Chicago and in New York and in Harlem, they had drive-bys. I mean, when Al Capone was fighting the other guy on the other side of town, I mean, they were violent.
Yeah,
they shot up daylight. They ain't wait till the night. They shot up. They didn't give a damn who was in the store, who was in there. You understand? They did that. Last week you mentioned. I believe you talked about Central Park. People need to know the history about how Central Park was a thriving Black area.
Yes.
and
and it
how the
goes.
racism. Then you got to talk about the burial grounds that are in Lower Manhattan,
That's right.
the Black burial grounds that now we had to fight to get to make sacred. And I give a lot of credit to the December 12th movement, Charles Barron. Charles Barron been on this show. He could have talked about this, but we didn't go that direction to talk about what was done in here. So this is why I say we do history. You talked about early history. Let's go back to early history in New York. Slavery in New York City dates back to the Dutch colonial period when the New Amsterdam was a major port. New York was a major port for slavery.
Yes.
Major port. The Dutch West India Company brought enslaved Africans to work on farms and households and in the construction of infrastructure. British then, when the British took control and renamed the city New York, slavery continued to grow. By the mid-18th century, New York had one of the largest urban population of enslaved Africans in North America.
Yeah.
That's why I said, when I went to say what Joe said about never, I was zeroing in on something because you got to know the history here.
Yeah.
You go to 1799, New York State passed a gradual emancipation law, which meant that slavery would be slowly phased out over time. The last enslaved people in New York were freed in 1827, decades before the Civil War. Now, let's talk about the KKK in New York. The KKK saw a resurgence in the early 20th century, particularly during the 1920s. This second wave of the Klan targeted not only African Americans, but also immigrants, Catholics, Jews, and other minority groups. New York City, like many other parts of the country, saw KKK activity during this period. So we were not born, but their activity was prevalent up here. It was prevalent, and of course it died down. So back in the 80s, the KKK wanted to have a march in Manhattan. They came to show up, and we showed up too. We showed up. We showed up. They didn't have enough amount of people. They had to we shut it down for them.
Amen. Amen.
Even though the police were there, we shut them down. Get on them bullhorn and just say the word you want to say. Say it if you want to. And we rolling on y'all. We rolling on y'all.
Even in the 90s, Brother Fatin, I was in boarding school in Jersey in 1994. And I'll never forget how they would have KKK rallies. Our boarding school was like on the top of the hill in town. And at the bottom of the hill in town, like the school literally didn't get their first traffic light in that entire town until I was maybe a sophomore in high school. And that was like around 92. But the KKK would have rallies. And when they would have rallies around town, staff and other students would say, like, Black people, like even, some of the Jewish kids or whatever, do not go to town to the little store that we used to frequent. Don't go down there because the KKK is having a rally. And as kids, you're, 13, 14, 15 years old. You have to listen and obey, the staff because they're responsible for us because we lived on campus. So this was still in the 90s. They were still doing it. And they're still out and about, And when you talked about how the Jewish mob or mafia and, how like they'll go and take their power, to this day, they still take their power. And it makes me think back to 1958 with President Nasser of Egypt, how he said the Jews left Black and came back white, right? So even back then, they took the land that was not theirs. They claimed it was theirs, took on the identity of a people of color and said, no, we are them now, right? And then tried to rewrite history. So they've been gangster with this since then. And to this day, even like we spoke about before with the ADL, a Canary Mission, Southern Poverty Law, they will try to damn near arrest you for even saying anything contrary to them. They're so gangster that they're trying to rewrite definitions of words, rewrite laws, rewrite rules that you cannot say if you're Black, like I am a Jew, not Jewish, because Jewish and a Jew is two totally different things, right? So even if we think of the word Jewish, we know what ish means. If I say, oh, I'll be at your house around 5-ish, that's kind of like, oh, somewhere around 5, maybe 5:30. That's not exactly it, right? So in the English language, there are a lot of ishes because it's not truthful of what it actually is, right? So we use the word ish, at the end of that word. So it's still fascinating just to see how that gangster is still so prevalent today, whether it's with the Roman Empire, with the Jewish rule, and then you had the Babylonian Empire. You have several, like you said, several other, empires, back then that were quote unquote gangsters that put us in the position that we are in today and continue to be in, because now we perpetuate it. So we still are calling, like you said, Joe, we're calling each other the N-words. We're behaving in certain ways. And of course, there's systemic things that go along with that. But now we've taken on what our oppressors exactly wanted us to take on.
Exactly. And
15 minutes past the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. If you'd like to join in on the conversation, 225-250-8770, 225-250-8770. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday. And on this Tuesday, we telling the truth. I'm just saying.
I got another one. So yesterday, I don't have it in front of me because I threw it away, but I'm going off the top of my head. And we get on to say about calling people names. I'm sorry, but I'm doing it. That handkerchief head Negro of a preacher that brought Trump into Detroit and lied. I don't have a problem you bringing Trump into Detroit, but you lied. You want to go about Obama. You want to say, oh, he didn't come to the ghetto or come to the hood or this, that, and other. I don't like lying, son of a bees. I don't like lying. Then Donald Trump goes in and always talking about crime. I love what Roland Martin brought up about. So we got black owners or black entrepreneurs. We got black lawyers that all live in hood to hood, that live around the crime-ridden issues. That's what I'm saying. Trump associate black people with crime. Let's look at something here I sent on Facebook. Trump appointed 53 appeal court judges, not one black, 0. Trump had no black senior White House staff in first without a single Hispanic since Reagan. Trump's entire administration was the biggest setback for African Americans from one administration to the next since 1980s.
That's a fact.
So my thing is, this is what I'm saying. We go from this whole thing about racism and how we need to respect ourselves. How do we allow other people to pimp us, to lie to us, to treat us like anything less than a human being and talk to us, and then we lick that crap.
Yeah.
We lick that crap.
Brother Fatim, it's okay. We have to be truthful and honest. Our mechanism of information are not wealthy enough to be heard to the masses. And because of that, we have to fight the propaganda machine, and we fight them from silos and in pockets. We're fighting the propaganda machine. Roland fights the propaganda machine. And you got to understand, the truth about the matter is there's not enough of us unified in a monetary, financial way that the system has to fear us. So the propaganda machine goes out there and it continues to spew propaganda. Listen, when you literally watch the Trump campaign, what bothers me not the most about the Trump campaign is that it has enough money and it has enough momentum that if we're not careful, we're going to wake up on November the 6th and they're going to say the president of the United States is Donald J. Trump.
But the propaganda machine, Joe, that's why I'm saying, and you're not wrong. What I'm saying is we got to zero in. I want to put my attention on that damn minister. I want to put what was said in that church. Let's break that down. Hell with the outside. Let's break down what was done, what was said, because that was on the news. That was on the news. And like Casey said, thank you, Casey, because I left that part out. He went to Detroit to a black church in a black neighborhood and had more white people in there because they bust those white people in there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
See, this is the crap they're playing with us. I understand, but we have to break it down because those folks that come at us, because I'm not right. Again, Biden is just a better choice than Trump. He ain't my choice. He wouldn't be my choice. But unfortunately, I understand what Trump is about, and I'm not about that. You understand? And trust me, Biden gets in there again, he's going to have a lot of the pressure from us and then the next person. we fell for the okie doke on this one.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
fell for the okie doke on this. But I just know what Trump represents. And when people come at us on this show, you can't stand on facts in a sense of what Trump has done for us. Oh, I got more money on my paycheck. Oh, more. Look at that. That's not true.
Mhm.
That's not true. Then Trump lies about more people was working under me. Unemployment was double digits in the Black community. We in single digits now.
Mhm.
Not true.
Mhm.
So that's the propaganda machine Joe saying. We have to say every day, not propaganda machine. We have to tear down this propaganda by going after it specifically and naming the facts. Because if we just say propaganda machine, then people will not understand. We have to give them the facts now. That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Got to give them the facts.
You're right, brother. Give them the facts. Got to give them.
Got to give them the facts. I agree with you, Joe. It is the propaganda machine, but when we say that, we have to now say, okay, it's the propaganda machine, but this is why it's the propaganda machine. Boom, 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 boom. Now you're giving people more information that they say, okay, let me go look that up. Let me don't listen to just say Joe and Fatin is right. Let me go look that up. Oh, okay. I see this. Now I understand why they say the propaganda machine. Instead of giving the propaganda machine and don't give them any direction to move in, to think. That's all I'm saying.
And we have what, 5 months? 5 months. 5 months. It's insane. I'm telling y'all, like we always say, prepare, buckle up. Ain't no telling what's going to happen. No telling what's going to happen on that day. So, and beyond, especially even with that project 2025 we spoke about last week. So,
yes,
we have.
And Sister Dre just asked, did we talk about it? And we did talk about Project 2025. I even played the United States representative that was in a hearing, and I played some of that, what she was talking about, and some of the things that are listed in 2025. What's her name? I forgot her name, but the bottom line, we played it last week.
You should play it again, Fatina. I think that was that was great. And so maybe for some of the viewers that weren't able to catch it last week, maybe at some point today or this week, you can play it again.
I'll send it to Joe instead of me playing it over the mic. I'll send it to Joe so y'all can see the visual. I'll send it to Joe in a few minutes.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have another thing on Project 2025 that I could want me to shoot to you now, Joe. It's just like a little quick video pictorial thing. Want me to send it, or you want to wait to do it all the same day with Fatin? Okay.
Oh, let me get Fatin's first, and we'll go from there.
Okay, gotcha. So what y'all doing the rest of the day? What else is going on?
You know, family, we gotta.
What happened?
You okay?
Oh.
We still here.
Okay.
Oh, you said something. You were saying something.
Yeah, I'm just moving slow. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. Listen, family. I mean, listen.
We thought you froze like Joe Biden froze.
When we get down to,
we thought you froze like Joe Biden.
Listen, it's sad. Yeah, I hopefully I'm not nowhere close to his age. I don't need to be freezing like him. That's problems. But I'm still in recovery mode. Thank God. Trying to keep it together. But family, we got to really get serious about what's about to happen, because it will affect where we are at 10 years from today, 15 years from today, 20 years from today. And I pray to God that I'm still breathing. And if I am, that means I'll be 77 years old. And guess what? You know what, family? We got to get it right for us. We got to get it right for us. Period.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
Send me what you got, Brother Fatin. Give me what you got for a pork chop.
Yeah. I was listening to something the other day. I was listening to something the other day. They were saying how when Trump was in the first grade, technically Biden was in the third or fourth grade or something like that. So they were just trying to show how close in age they are, because how Trump tries to always put it like Biden is so old and not prepared. And granted, I mean, they say age is just a number, but you can meet somebody that's 70 years old that's thriving and going to the gym and eating healthy and doing the right thing, and somebody else that's 70 that look like they 770. So it's just interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
I mean, we at the end of the day, family, we've got to do a better job in our community of getting individuals prepared to be individuals who represent us. Too many
Mhm.
times we just don't have we just don't have good representation for us, and that's sad. And
Yeah.
that's sad. That's really sad. So Brother Fatim just sent me this, and let me move it around where I can get it right, where I can get this in, where we can catch this, where we can know exactly. Yep, let me fix that, fix this. All right, let's get ready and go. We're getting ready to show y'all, since everybody keeps on saying Project 2025, and I want my good conservative friends on here. This is what they have. They didn't say just, they said this is their plans. This is their
Mhm.
plans, and they're going to bring these plans to fruition no matter how it goes. So here it is. And ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of Project 2025.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Shriver. Federal government has the largest and most diverse workforce in the country, and Schedule F, an executive order that would replace tens of thousands of civil servants with partisan sycophants, would destroy our government infrastructure, destroy it. It is critical that we understand that the far-right extremists who are advocating for Schedule F see it as a means to an end. It is their pathway to enact widespread, wholesale policy violence. One thing I know for sure about sycophants is that telegraph their harm. Mr. Shriver, are you familiar with Project 2025?
Congresswoman, I've read about that.
For many people, this is their first time hearing about it, and we must sound the alarm. Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. I won't detail every aspect, but I'll share some highlights. The Department of Education would be eliminated, cutting students off from civil protections and ending essential Title I funding for K through 12 schools. The Department of Justice would go on a murdering spree. It would rush to use the death penalty and expand its use to even more people while circumventing due process protections. Project 25 not only calls for national book bans in schools, but also creates a list of banned words for the federal government that would be deleted from, quote, every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists. End quote. Here are just a few of the words on the list: diversity, gender, reproductive health, and of course, conservatives want to ban the word abortion. On that note, abortion care would be inaccessible and illegal no matter where you live. Take it from them. On page 6 of its playbook, Project 2025 states, quote, the Dobbs decision is just the beginning, end quote. People, even in my district, the Massachusetts 7th, a leader in repro justice, would be criminalized for pursuing essential health care. Now, we could have an entire hearing on how these policies would quite literally ruin and end lives. And I didn't even touch upon proposals for housing, climate change, worker protections, and more. If enacted, Project 2025 would destroy the federal government as we know it. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record an Associated Press article titled, Conservative Groups Draw Up Plan to Dismantle the U.S. Government and to Replace It with Trump's Vision.
Without objection to order.
Now, some may be wondering why this is germane to today's hearing with the Office of Personnel Management. Mrs. Shriver, do you know who the director of Project 2025 is?
No, Congresswoman, I don't.
The director is Paul Dans, former chief of staff of OPM under the Trump administration. And I'm concerned about the ethics of Mr. Dans leveraging non-public information or relationships forged during his government service to lead and advance this far-right extremist agenda. We need oversight and accountability of Project 2025. Thank you.
Now you see why I said I don't play now. I'm not playing with nobody in these comments now. That what Trump and his administration and what he was doing and what he plans to do, he would be on. He has. There's nothing that really will affect him. Nothing, because this will be his last term. He can't run for president again. You understand? And if he gets away with some of these crimes and get a slap on the wrist, then bottom line is he feels that he could do any and everything he can do. I keep telling y'all, this is their last damn stand.
So stop. Brother Barnett, no offense. No, that's the truth. That's not fear mongering. That lady made it crystal clear that the individual that is over Project 2025 is the Trump appointed individual that he had in that position to understand how that governmental office works. So once again, let's talk the truth about what Trump has done. Trump was smart enough to say, you know what? If I can't beat them, I'm going to join them, learn their playbook, and then turn it around to make it work for me and mine. And at the end of the day, like she says, I have a deep concern that the individual who used to run this department is now got a playbook out how to dismantle this department. It's like, let me put you in here, learn all the ups, downs, how things go, and then let you work it out that it works exactly the way we need it to work for us. See, understand this. Republicans talk smaller government long as the smaller government doesn't mess with what they got going on. As soon as government is messing with what a Republican has a problem with, all of a sudden they use every power that the government has to clean the slate. They had a problem with Roe versus Wade. All of a sudden, I didn't hear smaller government coming from the Republicans. What I heard the Republicans do, they used the Supreme Court, they used legislation, they used every bit of the government they could to make sure that Roe versus Wade was gone. When they had a problem with affirmative action, they did the same thing. So no, you don't want smaller government. You want a government that works for you and yours.
Yeah.
And
So
we are not included in that equation.
So just to piggyback off of, what Eddie Bonnet said, that's why I shake my head, because you just don't know, brother. And when I use the word ignorant, you're ignorant about that. I'm not calling you a name. You just don't have knowledge. And you just don't understand the chain of command and the people that are in play. And the reason why I say you don't, because I do, some of them, some I don't, and I remember when I brought Brother Tyrone Powers, people that listen to us on Open Line, former FBI agent. When I keep mentioning his name, I just got to get him on the show, Brother Aton. And when the information he said, even our FBI guy was like, I can't touch that. He can't touch it because he knew he can't reveal it. He knew it, but he couldn't reveal it. You understand what I'm saying? This is what you don't know. This is what you don't know. That's why I'm not even going to get hyper about it now, because you just don't know. This is not fear mongering. This is real. You don't even understand the certain plays that have been in place to go after our power grids in America. You don't know the play that's been to go after our water supply in America. You don't know the whole thing about chemical and biological weapons to be utilized in places like the United States. If anthrax is used in the subway system in New York City, it was spread through 4 boroughs, not Staten Island, because Staten Island doesn't have our train system. It would kill millions of people. I did a show on this. This is why I'm saying you don't know. You don't know and you don't understand. This is not fear mongering. This is real. And this is not time to play. Where do you think? Nobody thought that Germany was going to get a dictator. Why do you think or fear that Trump cannot become that dictator or set the precedence for a dictator to come here in America? You don't know. You don't understand the government. You got to look at the people that Trump surrounded himself that were. Joe knows some of this about the army and I say the armed forces, the United States Armed Forces, that he had it surrounded, put it in certain place. And even his man, remember his chief of staff resigned. He resigned from Trump, from the White House, because he knew Trump was going too far. He couldn't even push it. But you want to put out there fear mongering. That's why I'm saying you're operating here. You're not operating here. And that's understandable. But that's when you throw out these adjectives like this, fear mongering. You do the same thing. And that's what Joe is talking about, that propaganda machine. Stop talking what you don't know. Stop talking that because you don't know.
Sadly, I see, and Brother Guidry is in here also. So I want to say this to you. I don't mind you standing on whatever it is that you believe, but understand we can have different opinions. We just can't have different facts. And the facts is Project 2025 will make your children slaves to the system. Your children have absolutely. Your children, you always speak about family and what you would do for family. There's no way you can stand, excuse me. Like I said, I'm still in recovery mode, but there's no way you can stand for a Republican Party that literally has put out a playbook that will destroy the lives of your children and their children's children, and got the mitigated gall to say it's a hoax. It's not a hoax. It's not a
Eddie,
hoax.
yeah.
Excuse me. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Eddie Bonnet says, so you guys don't think Democrats are doing the same thing towards the rights of conservatives in this country? Hell no. Then first of all, let's stop bringing in things to throw. Let's talk about on that level. The Democrats are not trying to destroy the structure of this government. Project 2025 and the conservatives that are that small group. That's why I always say the 5% had that. They had it. They had that breakdown about that 10%. Because remember, it's a small percent that want to keep that government that will benefit them. You still need the masses to be deaf, dumb, and blind so that they unfortunately are going to suffer from this, but they will be the victims that will feed into the small little element that are in control. Mm-hmm. So no, the Democrats are not trying to break down the country. Are the Democrats in cahoots? Not to say cahoots with the Republican Party, but they have their own problems too. The Democrats' hands are not clean neither, but they're not trying to break down the structure of the government. They're not trying to the Democrats have never, since we've been living, have tried to back a coup to control that a president was voted out to keep that president in power. No, we have never done that. So that's why I'm saying stop throwing these little things in here that cause that. No, the Democrats don't move like the Republicans or those conservatives. And there's some Republicans that don't even operate on that Trump higher level. Yeah. It's even some Republicans that are ignorant or are naive or feel that it's not going to be pushed that far until it's too late.
Right. So we got a phone caller. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Do you have a question or comment? Tell us where you're calling from.
This is Rhonda again. I just want to, I got a comment, and I want to try to put everything in perspective, short, not a long thing. All of y'all got it right. But regardless of November 6th or whatever, we're going to have to be prepared. We're going to have to be prepared, not now only, in the future. Because one thing you have to understand, people don't go backwards. Once Pandora's box is open, they still going to keep trying to eliminate us. And as far as this one up on me, one up on you, when you ask the question and you don't understand, listen, I don't understand, brother. I don't understand, sister. Please elaborate for me so we can get it right the first time. This language is killing us. I mean, I heard Brother Fatima say something yesterday. I got the replay about cleaning out. I immediately, it hit my spirit. I knew what he was talking about. He's talking about us. We don't get it. He's not talking about a physical house. We got the hell with that. We got to clean us first before we can clean that physical house. The house will still be standing and we'll still be fucked up. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Gotta go because I'm paying $50 words. Gotta go.
Thank you, Sister Rhonda. Thank you for calling in, my sister.
Truth is truth.
Yeah,
and
that's
real talk. That's real talk.
It is. And I love what she said, and it's what you also mentioned yesterday about the physical house when I was going into the physical house. But it still is analogous to cleaning up your life, because the same way you clean your physical house room by room, closet by closet, is the same way you have to compartmentalize your life and develop a strategy, a clear-cut strategy in terms of how to move forward. First, you might say, you know what? Let me get my kids in order. What do I need to do to get my kids in order? Their behavior, their education, their nutrition, whatever it is. So it's the same concept. So if people don't really know how to get their life in order, that house, they need to learn how to get their physical house in order. And once you establish that, then it makes it that much easier to get your life in order, because you cannot get your life in order, especially if you're in a house full of clutter and chaos. So it all starts and it's all one. Go ahead, Joe.
Here what saddens me is that I have people that I know that be on this podcast that say they are family men, that they're concerned about their family, but they hear Project 2025. See, that's almost like And then, you know, they have the mitigated gall to say, well, it's a hoax. It's not this. It ceases to amaze me that everything that points to saying that these far right Republicans are wrong, they want to make it seem like it's pie in the sky and make believe. But everything else, you know, everything with Biden, oh, didn't Biden do this crime bill? Didn't Biden do this? Didn't Biden do that? At the end of the day, even President Biden, with what he did wrong, was man enough to raise his hand and say, you know what? I did the following and I was wrong. At that time, I saw it like this. Now that in hindsight, I look back, I was wrong. Trump has never said he would. Trump still does not say he lost the election. Trump says the election was stolen, you know, and that people run around. This man has never conceded that he lost the first time he lost. And then you can call it what you want. Oh, those people weren't up in Washington trying to take over the government. They were just up there sightseeing and had a rally to back up President Trump. If black folks had rushed that Capitol in that manner, that those folks rushed the Capitol, there would be a massacre in Washington, D.C. There would have been a bunch of dead black folks, bunch of dead black folks. Come on, family. And here's what bothers me the most about that. Y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see that. Y'all got the mitigated gall. Oh, they were just up there sightseeing. They were just walking around the Capitol trying to see the Capitol. It's their right. It's their building. It's the people's building. Man, wake up. Had you been up there with all your blackness and you rushed the Capitol like that, you would be dead as a doornail to this very day. They would shoot you on sight.
That's right.
So what was the difference between black folks on January the 6th and a bunch of white folks on January the 6th? I'll wait. Give me that comment inside the chat room, please.
There was a comment that Douglas Guidry put up. I swear, it's crazy. There was a comment he put up about it's all about going out there working hard. It just disappeared in front of my eyes. Unless he deleted it or you pulled. Did you see it?
No, I haven't pulled it. Hold on. Caller, you're on. Speak on it. Speak. You're on. Caller,
all right.
You're on.
I just this Tim Malone. So I just want to speak on the Project 225, bro. For Douglas Guidry. This is gonna go for our Project 225 that we have in last year with the new governor that we got, bro. That us black folks always say that our vote don't count. Just look at what our governor bringing back, bro. He's bringing back death row. He's bringing back more time for the blacks. It's July, August, and August. He's gonna start giving more time for petty drug charges. Remember that's us black folks, bro. White folks won't fit their bill about the crack. White folks won't fit their bill about the weed. That's the agenda to put us back into slavery, bro. Yes. But that's because we didn't vote. We got to think about because our governor is a Trumpster. We can take that how we want. Their agenda is to get us back to slavery, bro. Which they won't get us. Just understand me. They won't get us back to slavery, but passing laws to put and lock away our brothers. And if they bug the system, they're gonna give them a life sentence, bro. And they're gonna give them a death penalty. So Douglas, bro, you gotta wake up. I understand. I'm a family man. I was once a street man. We gotta see the bigger picture to what. And I'm not gonna say the white folks, but most of the white folks want us to be back in slavery, bro, mentally and physically. Until we put our money back in ourselves. And quit just running our goddamn mouth and buying fancy things to make us look like we're doing better than others. We won't accomplish nothing, bro.
That's right.
Brother Tim, thank you for calling in, my friend. Thank you.
I love that, Tim. Thank you so much for calling in. You are 110% correct. And, you know, when we think about it, once you are incarcerated, especially with the new laws and all these changes that are going on, and trying to give us the death row and life sentences and, you know, synonymous, whatever. But that's still, once you are locked up, you are now state property of that state, right? So they can enforce slavery even with you being in prison. You are then their slave. Like you have
you are that's the way they usher slavery back in. Brother Fatim, exactly. Is that the comment you were talking about that I posted right there?
Yeah. It's all about going to work, taking care of your family, not caring about black or white, but the almighty green dollar. So let me go back. It's all about going to work, taking care of your family, not caring about black or white, but the almighty green dollar, brother. Again, it's not about.
But you know what, Fatima, I got something to say on that one real quick while you get your thoughts together. So even with that, Brother Guidry, right? You go to work, it's all about the dollar, taking care of your family. Now you lose your job. You get sick, you have a mental health crisis, something happens, you lose your job. Now you can't afford Cobra because Cobra might be $700 or $1,000 something dollars a month for your family. So now you might have to lean on the system and need to get Medicaid. But guess what? They're trying to disband. So now what do you do? What do you do for your medications that you might need, or for mental health checkups, or a doctor's appointment, for your children or your parents or somebody? You know what I'm saying? So if they're trying to, dismantle Medicaid, then what? That impacts a lot of us in the community as well.
Prime example.
So let me just respond before, because I want to put that. So the point is that it's not unfortunately the institutions, the structures of government has been built in this country has been built on racism. It's been built on the backs of us. So it does mean between black and white. It's not just about going to your job. It's not just thinking, well, it's not about black and white. It's just about going to work and reap for the mighty dollar. No, it's not just about that, brother. We are fighting institutions that were not only built on our back, but they were built on the foundation of racism. So unfortunately, because we have the Emancipation Proclamation, tomorrow is Juneteenth, we still have those institutions still in place and the structures. So it's not, yes, it is about black and white, bro, because the system doesn't work for us. It's not being, Mr. Johnny be good and yes, a master and yes, a boss and going to work. It's not that. You don't understand what our kids, they're banning books. They ban people to talk about black history in your own damn state. You can't even have black history. Can't even have Pride Month. So what the hell are you talking about? It's just about going to work, and the bottom line is the bottom line is the dollar. That's where you sell your damn soul out for the damn dollar.
Say it.
That's what you do, and you sell it out for the devil, because that's what the devil. But you want to preach for God, but you sell your soul out for the damn dollar, and you overlook what happens to your brother, what happens to your sister, because you know what? It's all about me. I work hard, I get mine, so I'm okay.
And watch what I'm about to say. I just got very sick, very sick. I'm still in recovery. I'm not wearing this on my head just to wear it on my head. There's a reason. I can't go into all of that. I had one on yesterday, and I said I'm representing Tennessee, but and it'll come off my head when it needs to come off. But family, we got to be more prepared. See, many of us, our preparedness is we trust and believe in the government, not understanding the government is going broke. So what are you going to do when what you're trusting and believing in, as Jax just said? Let's say that all you're depending on is, okay, yeah, if I lose my job, the system or whatever, the system will take care of it. Well, the system's going broke. What happened to the system? What happened? There is no Medicaid, no Medicare. How are you going to get that quality, those medications you need to keep your life going? Do you not understand? If I don't take my diabetic medicine, I could die just like that. My blood sugar could go up and I could die of a diabetic coma just like that. So I can't depend on the system. See, that's why many a times when I see folks in their own here, and I've had people that I know, I've had people on this show, and they're crying about, oh, woe is me. No, woe is you, because you didn't prepare right. Because I knew one day that I wasn't going to be able to work like I'm working today. I knew one day things might fall apart. I had a person had the mitigated gall to call me, hey, man, you all right? You need something? No, do you need something? I'm good. My money good. I ain't worried about Medicaid, Medicare. My insurance good. I'm good, because I have prepared for the day that I knew would eventually may come.
Well, I'm glad they looked out for you.
That. Yeah,
I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did pick up the phone and call you.
Right, and I'm happy about that too. But see, I'm sick and tired of this in the chat about how the Democrats this, the Republicans this. Let's just be real about it. Government is government. And your man Umtube said it the best way. Right wing, left wing, all on the same white bird. But here's the problem that gets me. We don't get it. We don't get it. It's about policies. You keep talking about politicians. I'm talking about the policies.
Policies and power.
And power. Because people who have made policies that will hurt you and your children. I can't stand behind somebody that's going to hurt me and my kids. I'm sorry. I can't stand there and go, you know what, you a good guy, but the policies you put out will literally destroy me and my kids. But because you a good guy and me and you got a good relationship, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
No.
This is going to be my last comment on these guys here. So Eddie Bonnet says, man, we got to lose this mindset that we are oppressed and need help. We are empowered and we need to walk in that. Jax, excuse me, cover your ears. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because right now, I know as a collective about us being oppressed. That didn't stop nobody on this. It didn't stop me from going to high school. Because I understand oppression and how it works against us of color, didn't stop me from going to school, going to college, getting a college degree, going out there working for some of the top banks, Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of New York, Billboard Magazine, then working for some of the top radio stations, working for a black radio company and TV station, Urban One, TV One, Radio One today. BLS in New York, which is not black owned no more, but was. It never stopped me, but I'm not to the point because I'm doing pretty decent that my people are not oppressed. And that's what the damn problem is that you think because you can go out there and do these things that you're not oppressed. No, we are oppressed, even though we can do this, because I mentioned that statement last week. We are a people that are powerless with enormous power. And I keep telling you that. So no, we don't need to get out of that mindset, because when we forget that, then we forget where we're coming from and we forget those that are trapped back there that needs our help. That's why we don't get rid of that mindset. What we don't let that do is we don't let that mindset beat us down so we don't strive. That's what we don't do. But we're not definitely going to get rid of that mindset, because we have to understand the agenda ahead of us. How do we move forward if we don't know what our agenda is?
Once again, I'm very saddened on how people who are evangelical and Christian negate what God said. God said, you choose, not he choose, not they choose. You choose. The choice is yours, and whatever choice you make, I'll respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but I respect it. And really, it says when people make choices that you don't agree with, you're supposed to pray for them that God, because you can't change their choice. Only God can give them the revelation to change their mind. So guess what? Whatever choice you stand on, whatever principles you stand on, those are your principles. I respect that. And I allow you to do what you do, because I got to do me. And I pray that you, in doing you, that you find salvation, you find peace, and not only you, but everyone around you. See, it ain't just about me and mine. See, we got to get out of this me and mine syndrome. Long as me and mine is good, I could give a damn about everybody else. That's not God. That's not God. You can't talk around and tell me that you God when you're just concerned about you and yours. Yeah, you're supposed to take, you know what? To be exact, my kids ain't supposed to tell me thank you, daddy. It's my job as a dad to do what a dad does.
Yeah, Joe, not to cut you off. This is why I said this is crap. Everybody says you're the only victim here, Fatim. No other nationality depends on being victims. They band together and come up in America because this is the land of opportunity. We're the only goddamn people that have been enslaved in this damn country.
Right.
The only damn people. How would you make a damn ignorant statement like that?
Hold on.
How would you make a damn idiot? We're the only people that have been enslaved in this damn country.
Hold it. Calm your blood pressure down.
Man, I don't like stupidity.
I would have responded to that. Once again,
crazy.
You're measuring the same inch with two different rulers. And y'all got to stop that. Brother Fatim coined that phrase, and I'm going to use it every time I get a chance. Once again, your great grandparents, Brother Eddie Barnett, did not have the same opportunities that Donald J. Trump's great grandparents had, because they were indentured servants, period. Man, understand, your humble beginnings of you and your family did not start off with you coming over here for this place to be the land of milk and honey and opportunity. You came over here as a slave to help build somebody else's dream.
Exactly.
And until you come to that realization, and until you realize that, no, you're where you're at right now because of all those generations that had to fight to get you to where you at. And if they didn't have to fight to get you to where you at, imagine where you would be.
Right. And I don't look at, like he said, Fatim, can you make it in America? If we can't make it together, then I don't make it. I don't want crumbs. I don't want crumbs. I don't want an institution where we don't have power, Jax. We don't have the power. Jewish people, he said, one of them put in there, well, Jewish people don't cry. Yes, they do. First of all, they put themselves in power. Have you ever been to the Diamond District, Diamond District down in New York? Do you understand the power that these Jewish people have put themselves in? You understand? Because of the color of their skin. And they do cry because they say never again. And anytime you speak out against anything Jewish, they come at you. They come at you.
They coming.
But what we're doing, and when we call it out, we're bitching and moaning, and then we got our own black so-called brothers and sisters attacking us because we're calling out the same thing that the Jews called out when they were fighting to go up the damn ladder. We're doing the same damn thing.
Yep, that's right. They learn how to stick together and to find a common goal and go towards that goal instead of crabs in a barrel fighting everybody over everything damn stupid, and we're just suffering in the end. And that's why I love the scripture. We're probably getting ready to wrap up, Joe. I guess 57. So my closing words for today. You know what? I just want to wish everybody a great day. Tomorrow, we all know it's Juneteenth. I'll be on location at the Source of Knowledge bookstore downtown Newark, doing an autograph signing. I also sell some amazing pieces of jewelry. I'll be down there selling that. So if anybody is in the tri-state area or traveling through this area, feel free to check me out at the Source of Knowledge bookstore on Broad Street in Newark. Also, I want to encourage everyone to read today, if they can, Ecclesiastes 7. Ecclesiastes 7 is a great book in the Bible, and it makes me think of the scripture that says, Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So when we see oppression, when we feel oppression, when we sense it, we need to, it should evoke a sense of anger within us and not a feeling of, well, everything's all right, I'm doing all right, because that's not enough. That's not even of God, to feel that way. We need to see oppression and do something about it. So surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Read Ecclesiastes 7, the whole chapter, if you can, would be great. But also, if nobody told you today they love you, y'all know Jax loves you. I wish everybody a blessed day. Tomorrow's Juneteenth. Let's celebrate. Let's have a great time. Let's think about our ancestors, and let's think about our freedom, and let's continue to strive for our freedom, because we truly are not free. So I love you guys. Have a blessed one. Peace out.
Jax, Sister Jax, where is that quote in where's that quote again in the Bible?
Ecclesiastes 7:7.
7:7.
Ecclesiastes 7:7.
So
just even that whole book, talks a lot about wisdom and just that chapter in itself. So it's really good.
So I'm gonna end on these words. Jax just summed up my persona today. It says a wise man would not just be satisfied, he would get angry with oppression. That's why I am to the way I am today on this show. That's my closing words. Thank you, Jax.
You're welcome.
Brother Fatim. So that's how you closing. All right. Family. Oh, man. I got so much I really want to say, but I can't. So let me stick to what I always say. Be better today, family. Be better today than you were yesterday. Do something today to help somebody, some way, some shape, some form, some fashion, that there's no earthly way that they can pay you back. And always, always remember that there is no secret, absolutely none, what God can do, what he has done for others. If you believe, he will and he can do for you. And if God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. So y'all have a blessed day. We'll be back tomorrow for Work It Out Wednesday. Y'all have a good one. Peace. We out. Peace.
Some may ask, where is your God? With so much trouble going on, is he even here? Well, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow, so I don't have to fear. God, I know you can. God can. And I know God will. Yeah, you do. Yeah, just what you say. Every word. God, I know you can. God will. Yeah, you do. Just what you say. As soon as I stop worrying how the story ends, when I let go and I let God have his way, that's when things start happening. When I stop looking at back then, when I let go and I let God have his way. I couldn't seem to fall asleep. There was so much on my mind, searching for that peace, but the peace I could not find. So then I kneeled down to pray, praying, Lord, help me please. Then he said, you don't have to cry, 'cause I'll supply all your needs. As soon as I stop worrying how the story ends, when I let go and I let God have his way, that's when things start happening. When I stop looking at back then, when I let go and I let God have his. So let go and let God, 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 oh, let go and let God, let go and let God, oh, let go and let God, let go and let God, oh, let go and let God, let him work it out. Yeah, let go and let God, let go and let God, let him have his way. He can fix it, yes he can. He can mend it, yes he can. Yeah, let go. Hey, my brother, my sister, cast your cares upon him. He can. Let him do what he does. Because he does it